What's been going on, man?
Not much, really, at all. It seems like I'm just fucking running around all the time.
Dude, same.
like not really ever getting a fuck ton done.
Same, man.
It's just fucking moving. Just moving,
Yeah.
just waking up and moving. And then you're like, what the fuck did I even do today?
I know. It's been a doozy lately. Like, fuck, my forge has been up north. I'm living down here, so I'm driving an hour up there to go build shoes on a day off or something. And then mostly I was waiting for somebody to come help me pick it up and load it.
Yeah.
And then I was finally able to get somebody to move it. So that's why it stayed up there for this long. But, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something probably people don't know of just what's going on in your life in general. Is like you just made a big old move. Like you've had a break in probably like your YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And we've stayed with it here. We're a day late. Sorry, everybody. We
Yeah.
fucked off a little bit, but it's just like I just like I don't know. Complete honesty, I fucked up getting the email off that gets the shipping label to the next guy, that gets the mic to the next guy. So we
Shit
got
happens.
a little delayed there, and yeah, shit just kind of happened, it piled up. But we're here.
Yeah.
You didn't completely fucking fall off, but you've had a complete fucking change,
Dude. It's going to be
living.
a bit crazy for a bit. Like, I mean, it's only a matter of 25 miles, but it takes an hour to get here every day.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. Like, it's just because it's 45-mile-an-hour roads. There's traffic, and, you know, it's an hour from my old house to where I'm living now. But, like, all my work was, like, 30 minutes from my house. So now it's like an hour and a half commute in the morning and then an hour and a half on the way home. So it's like same thing. Like, feel like I'm going all the time, but not getting nothing done. You
Dude,
know?
that is so much more driving.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I can pick up some work down here. Nice thing is there's horses here, so just a matter of picking it up. And the cool thing is,
did you ever get calls from that area before?
a few years ago, actually, I did a barn down here for like almost a year and a half, and it was like 30 horses. And I'd come down every 3 weeks, but they ended up moving the horses or whatever, so that's why I stopped working there like 3 years ago. And
Shit.
I have one client that's like pretty close to here, like 20 minutes away, but it's only 2 horses. So it's like, that's going to be the
not
nice
really-
day. It's like, oh, only 20-minute drive,
Yeah. But still,
you know.
if
Cool
you
thing
add
is,
anything else to that day, though, then you gotta fucking drive even further.
yeah, I might make that a light day.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a forge day.
Yeah, that's
right
going to be a
there.
cheap gas day and then go back. Cool thing is, so a guy, his name is Doug Wallace. He's been in the area for like 30 or 40 years shoeing, and he only lives like 2 miles from here, but he just bought the Northwest Shoe and Supply, and he's setting it up out at his farm or whatever, and he's letting me keep my forge and anvil and shit there.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, so at first I thought I was going to...
How far is that?
It's like 2 miles. It's literally 2 miles, but it takes 5 minutes to get there. 7 minutes. So
Man,
finally was able to get that dropped off today, and yeah. So that'll be kind of nice.
that's a pretty good deal. Only 5 minutes away.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's not in your back fucking yard or whatever in your shop,
Dude.
but I thought I was going to have to get a storage unit to keep it in. And then you run into issues with that.
Oh, there's no way they let you work on it.
I know. I was kind of like wondering. I was like, are they going to let
Dude,
me
there's
get
no
away?
way.
Like, there's a
Fucking
fire
no
hazard,
way.
right?
Yeah, fire hazard, and there's like you're not allowed to just be fucking hanging out at the storage unit. It's not a rental. It's not like a fucking, you're renting a deck space.
The only thing that
you
made me
know?
wonder is like I remember in the
There's no
Tri-Cities. I remember the Tri-Cities years ago. I'd see like these Mexicans or whatever like working on cars, like sanding cars down, painting them in storage units out there. So that's what I was kind of wondering. I was like, well, maybe I could get away with it.
Yeah,
There's a huge fire hazard with that.
that's a good idea to paint a rig in, though.
Yeah, like they got like a one. I remember just seeing they had 2 of the big bays like for campers or whatever, and like it was a full blown shop. You drive by and you see like they had cars in there, like, and they had it stripped down, like they're painting rigs in there. I was like, God,
Maybe they
damn.
owned it.
It's a
Maybe
possibility,
they
but
owned a lot.
that part of town, a little less to be. So they could have got away with it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Some old lady's gonna come check on her fine china that she has in storage, and
Covered
here's
in
you
coke
gonna
dust.
be, yeah, you're gonna be right next to it, just forging
Banging
away.
away. God damn.
They're gonna be like, no, bro.
We actually, Ashley's dad was just putting some shit in some storage unit here in town, and I went over there with him to help him load, and like it had like a pin number and everything to get in, so they know exactly who's coming in. And I remember looking at it, and there was only one outlet, and it was like up at the light. So like you had to get a ladder to be able to get up there, and he's trying to figure out like, well, how am I gonna be able to run like a saw or something in here? And I'm like, you might not be able to. And the lights were even on a timer of like 25 minutes max.
Oh yeah, that's like no lingering.
No.
Get your shit and get out of here.
Yeah, they don't want you in and out, and cameras everywhere. But it was a nice place, really. But
Oh man, yeah, that probably wouldn't have lasted long at all.
is there like a car outside that's like bumping music? Oh, it's gone now. I could hear like music bumping outside.
I don't think music, but there's a couple cars just drove by.
Oh, it sounded like there was some subs bumping.
No, we'll hopefully my battery system works out today. Cause like last time we kind of had a little, remember it's dying on me the last couple times.
Yeah.
So today, I haven't gone and bought a new battery yet. Cause I don't think I'm gonna buy another car battery. I think I'm gonna buy like, so
Marine one or something?
Yeah, if anybody, well, that's what I got. I got like already in here. I had a Marine deep
Oh,
cell
really?
battery. Yeah, but it's old. It's like probably 8-10 years old for my
Yeah.
boat. So I didn't use it a lot. And then it's like in here and getting charged and drained, charged and drained.
Yeah.
And,
So really, it's a trickle almost.
Yep. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna buy. Now they have like batteries for like your house and stuff. You know what I mean? That people use like those deep cell batteries.
Oh, yeah.
That are actually for running an inverter off of. Like that's what they're more made for.
Oh, okay. So they
So-
can withstand that load better.
I
Basically.
think so. I think they run longer.
Yeah. That would be kind of nice.
I need to look. I've like briefly looked into it, but then today I have 2 batteries running together.
Oh, just in case.
Yeah, I had that battery that's already. It was lasting like an hour or so, running lights in the computer and stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's kind of about where your limit was about an hour, and then it
about
would
an hour.
consistently it did that twice.
It had
Yeah.
that annoying ass fucking beep. It does not let you like.
Yeah,
ignore
sorry
it
to the listeners,
whatsoever.
but I think I got it edited out. So, but if
Did
you guys
you?
did catch it, that's what it was his inverter beeping in and out.
Yeah, and then it goes Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Right?
Candlelight.
Fucking light.
Yeah.
So now I got fucking 2 of those batteries. Fucking.
Beat dialed.
Oh, I maybe it fucking won't do anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my head, it seems like that's how it would work. You know.
You would think. I mean, diesel trucks is the same way, right? You know, I got the 2 batteries in our rigs, and
Yeah, they do. I don't know what that's for. Is it just sort of the cranking?
it might be because I had one drain on me from a wire got kept on and it stayed on all night, and then it ended up frickin' the one was dead, but it wouldn't start my truck. So maybe it
Yeah.
needs both for cranking. I don't know.
It does, man. Because I had that same thing happen to me, like, a couple weeks ago. My trailer plug wire, because something got screwed up in it. So like the hot in it was touching,
Also, it was drawn.
and so like the tail lights were on all night,
Oh shit!
and it was on for like maybe like a day or so. They were on.
And you didn't
And-
notice, yeah?
I didn't notice them. And I noticed it. I'm like, right away. And I like, when I noticed it, I was like, fuck. So I went and tried to start the truck, and it like,
Nothing.
it barely got it, like the heater grid kind of warmed up, and it started dying already. It wouldn't even crank over.
Was Chelsea
it-
gone already?
Yeah, but it didn't really like.
Oh,
for
you
my
got the old truck
clientels
to
and
jump, huh?
everything. Yeah, if I needed to go somewhere,
Yeah.
but like that day, I didn't even need to go anywhere. I was gonna have
thankfully.
a shop day anyways. But I had to charge both batteries like pretty much all the way up before that thing would crank over.
Oh yeah.
It did not like it.
I had a
Not like it
doozy.
whatsoever.
Actually, it was probably 2 months ago or whatever, and it was this time where that one battery died on me, and I had ordered food in town to go pick it up. And I went to go get in my truck to start it, and it was freaking dead. And then I had the old Ford too, so I was like, oh fuck, I'll just jump in that and go. But that had a draw on it too, so that was dead, and I was like, fuck, man, like what am I gonna do to get in town now? Like I just ordered the food. Like both the rigs are dead, nobody's here. And so I had a little battery charger, and it's for like dirt bikes, so it's like a tiny 2 amp. So I was like, maybe I'll just
like a little bit bigger than a cell phone.
Exactly. You know, it's for like a tiny little battery. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just stick this on and see if it does anything. And nope, nothing. So I was like, at this point, they told me the food was going to be ready in 15 minutes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was already 20 minutes at this time. And I was like, fuck, it's not starting. And I was like, well, hopefully my dirt bike will start. Because I hadn't ridden that in almost a year either. I was like, well, hopefully the battery's good in it. And thankfully it started, and I just rode my dirt bike all the way into town. Went and picked up the food. Yeah. I was like, God, because it wasn't street legal or nothing. I was like, hopefully they don't give me no shit with it. But yeah, rode into town.
But at that place, it wasn't like, was it just at that bar?
No, it was the Vietnamese place I found, which is basically the grocery store. Yeah,
dude, that's risky, eating Vietnamese food from the grocery store.
Well, no, it's at the same building as the grocery store.
Oh, okay, like a little strip mall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's freaking delicious though.
I thought it was just like the side of the grocery.
No, not like the Safeway.
The deli.
Yeah. Fuck, I ate that stuff before and it made me sick. Like I was like, I am not getting the Safeway noodles again ever. It messed me up.
Dude, that's risky.
I was hungry and they didn't have shit. And I was like, I guess I'll just have some noodles from Safeway.
It's easy to think sometimes too that you're like, oh man, I'm super hungry. Especially when you're like chewing and
there's nothing around.
No, you're like, well, the gas station shit's probably gross.
Oh,
the grocery store is probably a little better.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's hard to say.
It is, but dude, I have a few. I don't do it as much now, but like 4 or 5 years ago, dude, I had like 3 or 4 gas stations that looked like shit on the outside,
but they were good.
They had the best fucking like. It wasn't good for you. It's fried food.
Yeah,
like this fried. Dude,
it's not like we've got a full blown kitchen in there.
Yeah, those chicken and cheese taquitos and stuff.
Those are pretty good.
Dude, delicious.
And they're cheap too.
Oh, dude, yeah. You go in and get 4 of those, you're ready to go shoot some more.
That's the hardest thing about being a horseshoer.
4 of those
sometimes.
in a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like,
it's dangerous.
Not good for you.
It can be hard as a horseshoer, you know, like you're on the road and sometimes there's nothing around and all you got is a gas station to get you some food, and sometimes you want something hot.
It's just something hot, but it's also we're fucking shit planners.
Yeah.
A lot of us are. Like, it really doesn't take that much planning.
Ashley gives me shit about that all the time. She's like, you should be making your lunch before work and take it with you. And I'm like, dude, I don't like taking that 5 minutes to make a sandwich.
But you gotta, do you think too, it's like you're gonna spend more than 5 minutes finding somewhere to eat on the road.
True.
And it's like a not fun 5 minutes. You're like fucking almost
scrambling
stressed out about it. You're like, fuck, where do I want to go? This is shit. It's a set. You're like compromise of where you end up going.
Yeah.
Not good. Or you could have like a nice ham and cheese sandwich.
The problem is the time that I do make a sandwich and take it with me, I end up eating it before I even get to like my first stop, and it's like breakfast. And I'm like, well, now I'm ended up buying lunch anyways.
On the way.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them things. So I don't know. I need to do it.
It is good.
Oh yeah.
It really doesn't take that much planning, because that's what I used to do. I never planned at all. You'd wake up each day just like scrambling out the door.
Yep. Take a cup of coffee and hit the road.
Stuff.
Yeah.
That is still like, that's my failure right there. That's probably like that's our 3rd pot today as a house.
Really?
Yeah.
Of coffee.
We drink a ton of coffee.
Now that I got an hour drive in the morning, I'm drinking way more coffee too.
Dude, isn't that the worst though when you get to that first stop and you just gotta fucking piss so bad? Like they want to talk to you a little bit and stuff, and you're like, I gotta go.
I'm pretty
I'll
lucky
be
actually.
back.
Like most of them know, like, he's probably gonna go to the bathroom. Usually at the first stop or whatever. Like, and most places I
Really?
go, they got bathrooms and stuff. It's not like can I go in your house or something?
Oh, that's the worst.
Which yeah.
Dude, the most awkward one is I have a bad stomach.
Uh-huh.
Anyways.
Yep.
And if people don't know I don't know if I ever talked about this on the show or not.
I think you did on the first episode actually.
Yeah,
Talked
but I
about
got
the
fucked-
accident.
Yeah, I got fucked up by a horse, so I got fucked up stomach, and so I did the gas station thing. I ate some food that wasn't good before heading to a stop, and I didn't even think about it. And dude, got the grumble guts after like foot number 1.
Oh boy.
And you're like, this isn't good. And it's not the girl, like she is a trainer and she like rinsed the barn.
Oh.
And I remember her bitching about the bathroom situation like already before.
Yeah. Like was it like broken or something or like
No, thankfully she was just awkward. Like this kind of an awkward bathroom set.
because it's like close to where you guys are at or something?
Dude, no, it was so there's like an arena and then in the corner of this barn is an apartment. And these random people rent this apartment.
Oh, so you have to go through their living space to get it to it.
Not through it, but the bathroom was their
Oh,
laundry
shared.
room and shared. And so there's
damn.
2 doors going to this thing.
Sketchy.
Dude, and you're like trying to go to the bathroom and you can hear these random people like trying to watch TV.
And there you are.
Oh yeah.
Trying to be quiet.
Trying to be quiet and hopefully they weren't going to try to open the door.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. That's the last thing you want is somebody to walk in.
I would have just left.
That's like a fearful.
I would have not shot the rest of the horse. I would have just left.
Got in the truck and
I
left.
gotta go. Never come back.
That's like a fearful thing for me. Like if I'm at the airport or something or somewhere public, and you go into a stall and if you don't see it have like a lock on it or something, you're like, fuck, what am I going to do? Like
Dude.
hopefully nobody walks in.
Not even so we all like shared a hotel rooms for the contest, and we went to this one. We went to this one hotel room.
Amarillo.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah, there was no lock. It was a slider.
It's already really funny. They're like, we go to the first hotel room and they tell us that they overbooked it, and so they sending us to this different one.
Yeah.
So Gavin's already pissed, and so Gavin takes a consolation prize as we leave, and
And it was more expensive.
Yeah, he takes some ice cream sandwiches for all of us. To
You were like, fuck him, grab some ice cream sandwiches for us. And I
Yeah.
was like, fuck him, I'll grab some. They were good, though.
They were good. They tasted that much sweeter when you're like,
Yeah.
got a little bit of revenge.
You fuckers, you guys screwed us.
Yeah, sent us across town, but it ended up being the better hotel room in ways.
From what we heard, yeah.
But the bathroom sucked. Because
Yeah,
there
it was
like-
nice. Just the privacy wasn't
It was
great.
nice, but it just had a sliding door.
And it didn't really necessarily like stop. Like it would start to roll, down a little bit as you're in there and you're like, God, just stop already.
Like, I my bad guts. I always have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So in the
Thankfully
middle of
I'm
the
out,
night,
so I don't hear nothing.
well, I keep on thinking like, man, I hope nobody wakes up in the middle of the night and tries opening this sliding door, and the toilet is so far away from it.
You can
I'm
see
just
Brian
gonna
be the one to go in there or something.
That's just like
Yeah.
there you are, just stuck on the toilet.
Hello,
Hey,
can I help you?
I'm in here.
Yeah. Trying to be quiet like a mouse.
It's always the most awkward thing when you're like at a gas station or something and you're going to the bathroom and someone like jiggles the shit out of the door.
Or they'll knock a couple times like,
and then they knock and they're like,
what are you
"Hey."
supposed to say? Like,
And you're like,
present. Taken. I'm in here.
I always, this like the most awkward, like, hello?
Yeah. Anybody home? How may I help you?
And it's the worst too, because you know that motherfucker is gonna be waiting right outside the door when you
Yeah,
open it.
and you're gonna stink it up like.
Oh, he's hound dogging the door. He's looking just
like
right there.
probably in the same situation of why you're there because you're hustling to get in there and you're
Fucking turtle head.
motherfucker in there.
Oh fuck. But Amarillo, that hotel they got sent to, they have amazing omelets.
Yeah, breakfast was fucking delicious.
The breakfast there is the best breakfast I've ever had at any hotel. You
The
go
ser-
up and
like-
dude, it's omelet bar.
They had a chef there that would make them for you guys and shit.
Dude, he was not counting eggs. He
Really
was just bam, bam, bam. He would stack them. You would get thick omelets.
nice. I didn't go for any
I don't know
omelets.
if that's a saying, but it's a saying. Like you go to like little cafe diners, they'll have on their menus like we don't count eggs, like meaning that you won't get a thin ass omelet.
Yeah, that you're gonna get a big one.
Yeah, it'll be hard.
It's usually what you want if you're paying good money for an omelet. Like it better be enough to fill up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the plus side of getting moved to the other hotel. It is a
From over
bummer
here.
when you aren't at the host hotel though.
Yeah. I mean, there were still some guys there, some people there, but
There was.
you know, not totally packed as far as like it is kind of nice like if there's a bar there like you show up and you'd have a beer with somebody and hang out and go from there and go back to
Yeah.
your room, but other than
No,
that,
that's one of my favorite things.
yeah, me too.
I like when there is a hotel bar, or even like, so right now everybody's heading there is to Wisconsin.
Dude, I can't believe they got 110 competitors and still more
110.
people were Mike is going to be overwhelmed.
That's a waiting list.
What?
That's usually, I mean, there's a waiting list to get it. There was a waiting list to go. Like,
There
I
probably
think
still
they-
is more
I
too,
think
huh?
they had over 110 people that wanted to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so crazy to think that Mike has to do it alone.
That's what I was kind of
Usually-
wondering. Like, would he
Dude.
want to bring somebody in, just like help me sort some of these, and then I'll be the final say or something,
Because usually it's 110 competitors before. That would be Vegas or like the finals. It used
Yeah,
to
and
be in
they'd
Vegas, I guess.
Take two
And they
judges.
would have two judges.
Yeah,
And it fucking, even with two judges, they were there
all night.
all night sometimes. Yeah, literally. Like it was so late sometimes.
Shit, I remember the last time we went there to Vegas. There was quite a bit of people, but I remember one of the classes we had to do 4 shoes. It was like the quarter horse class where we had to do the 3/4 forward fronts and then the rodeo hinds. So that's 4
Who
shoes.
was that judge?
I think Money and Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a lot of shoes in one go.
Dude.
4 instead of just 2,
I was thinking about that with Poe. It's like, I've only judged some smaller competitions,
Uh-huh.
and it's overwhelming with 10 shoes on the table.
Yeah.
Like you're breaking some balls there. Like it, but 110? Jeez. Like I know like you're gonna do some mass culling, of just like grouping,
Yeah.
probably, and then refining.
Yeah, the
from
hardest
there.
thing is probably going to be the bottom half cuz those shoes are hard. That toe weight and the Frenchie.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be really easy to get lost in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was kind of meaning. Like right there in the middle is going to be towards the
I
bottom.
think the bottom's going to be the bottom. You're going to have, okay, let's say there's 110 competitors there. You're going to have, and that's 110 category competitors.
Yeah, not the novice.
Not
Or no, that is
novice.
the novice.
Or is that everybody?
It might be everybody. I don't know.
So you're going to have a good chunk of these shoes. Let's say you got 100 people. You're going to have probably 20 to 30 just shitters.
Yeah.
The bottom of the table. Unfinished shoes, wrong amount of nail holes.
No clip
unleveled,
pulled up or
twisted.
something. Yeah.
Yep. That'll be a big one on is that a 2-man day where they're doing the French shoes?
I think that's the individual class, ain't
That's
it?
the individual class.
Yeah, I don't remember what the
Wicked.
2-man class was. Oh, no, that one with the square heels, that's for the shoe and specimen. No, the aluminum shoe's a shoe and specimen.
Yep. The aluminum shoes are shoe and specimen with concave on the foot, toe clips.
Yeah. And then they had the that one shoe with the square blocks in the middle. The traction type shoe.
That's a 2-man shoe. and what was the other one?
Yeah.
The other 2-man shoe was the spiral bar shoe.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, where Craig did the marble on it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clever.
I don't think. Yeah, marbles aren't. I don't think you should probably bring a marble to see if your shoe's gonna do it, but it was cool to see in a video.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of it, to be honest. That's why Craig's so smart. Clever.
That's a Craig mind there.
Yeah. I could
Dude,
see
I
you
watched
doing
his
it too.
video. Yeah, like that's just sitting fucking off with something
though.
else.
Yeah, like coming up with it and then just do it.
Yeah, but the problem is I'll like dwell on it. I would be like, listen, guys, listen. Like,
Yeah.
all you motherfuckers need to get a marble.
Yeah, and start doing it. Yeah, it's going to be a big, long days.
Dude,
And plus match play.
that's what I think. Like if you're going, and if you're in the top 20, obviously it doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna be in the top 20. That's where your skills are kind of already gonna be.
Yeah.
But if you were a guy that is just hoping to make the live shoeing, god damn, I would focus on the basics.
Yeah.
I would give him. I would make sure. Like I would not. I would have a not
That's going to be
good,
tough.
I would focus on the basics of like I don't even know if I'd worry about trying to get to size too much, especially on those shoes of like. But I'd have good nail holes and flat and
Just
like
everything,
level.
basic
Like,
elements there.
I would have all the accessories finished.
Because I think all the shoes are hammer finished, right?
No, I think you can sand on it. You just can't. I mean, you can rasp on them. You just can't
No,
sand.
it's no sanders.
No paper sanders.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a first that somebody's called out just sandboxes.
I kind of like that, to be honest. Like,
Eh,
it is nice to be able to sand them, but it's also
I
like,
think people can tell.
what do you mean if they've been sanded?
Yeah, and if they've been sanded too much,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think that's where you can see the difference. Where like you see it a lot in like tool and foliage shoes. If the tool and foliage shoe just looks like it was sandblasted almost, like just rounded everywhere, nothing's real crisp. You can tell the guy just like hogged on it with the sandbox just right away.
Yeah.
But if you can also tell when somebody like draw filed it and then used the sandbox just to take the draw file marks out,
Yeah. And clean it.
clean it, and it's like still really, really crisp.
Yeah.
It just took it that extra little mile.
I think that's kind of like with my tool and forward shoes. Like, they weren't really like crisp ever. They're all just kind of rounded, but it's mostly
It's
just trying
easy
to
to
get through them.
Yeah, it's easy. You're like, I'm just gonna take these marks out.
Yeah.
And just bomb through this. Well, if you take a 80 grit to the top of a freaking tool and forward shoe, it's like the belt bind is gonna start rounding some edges off, and they're just not gonna be as
Crisp.
as they could be.
Yeah, that's true. Versus a file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it'll help some of the lower category guys not worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have to worry about getting to the vise, and doing as much.
I had a novice kid come over to the house, and we made some shoes, and he asked me, he's like, how much would you worry about rasping on these? Like, I wouldn't. I would try to make these shoes off the hammer.
I thought the novice are off the hammer now.
Are you sure? I think they can rasp on them.
From the last time I was there, I remember them being off the hammer, like no
Really?
rasping. Yeah,
Well, good thing I told him that then, I guess.
yeah, because I think they're off the hammer now, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
And I was like, I would focus on getting it all done. And then, like, if you have enough time, then, like, if you think these shoes are sweet right now,
Yeah.
just go ahead and knock the edges off of them. I wouldn't worry about cutting the top off of it too much, unless you're like, I mean, if you're practiced up and you have enough time and you're cutting the top off of them and you're making sweet shapes, well, do it.
Gravy.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Wasn't
Your
it
name would be
Patrick?
Troy Woods.
Yeah, wasn't it Patrick or was it Andrew saying like they just have dusty when they had striker rasping?
Andrew was saying that.
Yeah,
He's like, he would just rasp it into submission.
and then he just ended up winning it. Like, yeah, that's crazy. Different time.
It is super crazy how much rasping can do.
But also how much better it can be if you just focus on doing a hammer finished.
Oh my gosh. Or just fitting.
Yeah. And not have to rasp.
Not have to rasp. Man, I saw a picture on Facebook the other day. I'm sorry. If you think this is about you, well, then rethink what you're doing. There was more fucking boxing on the front half of this horse.
Oh, on the shoe
Yeah.
versus the
Like,
back half.
yeah, the hind shoe. And the guy posted a picture, and like it was a bevel. This
Oh,
fucker
shit.
extended all
And
the
the
way.
foot wasn't like nubbed off or something.
No,
It was like
no,
it was
just-
previously shod.
It was odd. It was just small. It was trim flat. It was just like wow, that's
Okay.
that might see some blood. Like that baby's hungry.
Holy shit.
Because all I could think is like, man, if you bevel it that much from the top,
Yeah.
because like I've seen bevels on the front end of horses that get worn, you know,
Okay.
and then you come and feel them, or like, and they're sharp.
Yeah.
When
that's what I
that
was
toe
thinking.
comes from the bottom, now you have a fucking knife. You got a knife.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that's
if it's on a
cutting-
hind foot,
Oh yeah.
dude.
Dude, just
Sketchy.
one good old step forward, especially like a Western horse is like getting gamed or something. Oh,
Yeah. No bell boots.
Cut City, Cut City,
Shitty thing is you're the first one getting called for it too.
dude, you are. They're pissed.
I would not want to be that guy.
No,
But
they're
I mean, I
pissed.
wouldn't necessarily do that either.
Well, like I've caught myself on it like draft horses. Like sometimes draft horses, you'll fit the lateral side on the hinds a little bit fuller, like from toe clip on. Just because they're big horses, you're kind of giving them a little more out there. And if you box them a bunch and like if you follow the angle of the foot,
Yeah.
they're sliding and taking off on that lateral side so much that it gets beveled up and like you'll feel it and it's a freaking like it's got a
Nice.
burr.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sharp. And like, yeah, he might not hit himself with it, but he might hit his partner
Yeah.
with it. You know, so it's like that's not good.
No.
So
No.
you can still like fit them that full, but I don't match the angle of the hoof wall. I'll just like
So when you
a
you
little
said
steeper.
it helps you fit. So this is something I noticed. So I basically videoed all the goes from the team contest or whatever.
yeah,
and
for the classic.
yeah, for the classic. And after watching a lot of those videos, I watched a lot of people that would go to their foot cold and like they would check it out. They would take a marker or a pencil or something and check to see where it needed to be boxed off. And they would just end up boxing it where it didn't fit. And I was actually really surprised because like if you're just watching or whatever, you may not notice that. But like
Oh yeah.
when I had it on video and I watched
we,
like a
we do
lot
it with
of
our
people.
silver pencils.
Yeah, but when you see a lot of people do it, you're like, huh, is it really fitting or is it boxing?
I think it is fitting in a way.
Yeah,
It's blending because it looks nice when it's on there.
because it has a shape in it. Right?
Yeah, when you see it from the bottom, you're like, wow, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Like it looks nice, the shape from the bottom, but it also is like it. I'm sure we're all aware that feet are pretty manipulable. Like you can nail a keg shoe out of the box onto a nice hind foot for long enough, and it'll look like that keg shoe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, if you just keep nailing a sweet shape onto this hind foot,
Eventually
that's
it becomes
sweet.
sweet.
That's and I don't want to say that's like table sweet, but sweet for that horse and its proportions and how it's built.
Yeah. Eventually it'll come around.
Because I think that's one of the interesting things that you'll hear at those competitions is like the guys that are really high up, they're like, well, this horse, you could just tell. Like they could tell from his shape, or like then they're talking about their horse. They're like, you could tell he's a little bit like cowhocked. And so you can tell that he has like this higher lateral quarter. And you can tell that he has a lower medial. Like they are already thinking of all this and how they're going to shoe the horse a little bit more accordingly.
Yeah.
Like to help out his pathology that he has going on.
Even like on Tool and Fuller Day when you're putting caulk and a wedge on it.
Yeah, I think you saw a decent amount of that.
Yeah, that's kind of what that was the one like Roadster shoeing that didn't necessarily surprise me, but seeing it on Tool and Fuller Day,
That's
Which-
a hard one too.
that's what I was more surprised about. Was seeing like a lot of that happening, and I was like, I don't know, kind of getting lost because I was more so worried about just fitting it, like making a perimeter fit, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what the shape was, and I wasn't necessarily. I was just trying to trim the foot to where it had a nice shape in it,
Yep.
and then fit it. But sometimes, like you'd see, the foot might not necessarily be the greatest of shape, but the person would put the sweet shape in it and just box what doesn't fit,
Yeah. Fuck,
which
like
is what surprised
AFT
me.
had that foot of like, I think it had no toe.
Yeah. Yeah.
No toe. Like it was bobbed off.
I remember asking Chris beforehand. I was like, "What are you guys gonna do about that? You gonna fit in front?" He's like, "I'm gonna try." So he
Yeah, and
planned
like,
it.
yep. And it had a very straight lateral
Quarter.
quarter. Like
Yeah.
it was just
It's like our
straight.
roadster horse.
Yeah. And it was, but they got like a sweet shaped shoe on there.
Yeah.
Like
looked
it
pretty
wasn't
sweet.
like it wasn't table sweet. You
No.
weren't like, oh man, that's ideal shape. But you're like, man, you guys made that look better.
Yeah.
Where some of the feet you saw, where like some of the front tool and folded guys and teams drew really pointy feet.
We did.
We did,
Yeah. Ours
and
was busted.
our guys did pretty good with it.
Yeah.
But that's a shape that you could be like,
So hard.
this could go south.
Quick.
This could go south in a fucking hurry. Got a skinny frog.
It's hard
Very
because
pointy.
you know, like you can imagine the foot if it was there, it'd have some arc to it instead of being like a spade, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, but it's tool and fuller days. You can't necessarily fit it way out there.
You only have three quarter, maybe 7/8 wide of stock. So it's not like you have like a ton of width of stock to box away.
Yeah.
It's not like Roadster Day, that lateral side, you have so much width.
Yeah. That you can hog away.
You could do almost anything with, like you could do a lot with it. Or Tool and Fuller Day, that's the thing. It's like, it is crazy to me how close you are to like.
The fucking neighbors playing a drum set in
Is
the
that what it
fucking
is?
garage right now. Like, what are the chances? What are the chances? He ain't been home all damn day from what I can tell, probably.
Oh my god.
And now he's banging on the drum set in the garage, where I'm at in my garage.
He heard that you were home. He's like, I got an audience, and I'm pretty good.
I'm kind of starting to get
this guy.
I'm kind of getting the feeling. I think I'm out here in the garage, often on the computer, and I hear TV going all the time. Like I think his
lives in the
bedroom's in there.
garage.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Is it
fuck,
obnoxious?
No, I just like kind of heard. I was like, what's Meg getting into now?
Yeah, Meg's not in here. Meg's not in here.
What's Meg doing?
And that was the one thing I thought about. The being in the garage is gonna be pretty sick. Is like, oh yeah, it's gonna be quiet as hell back in here. Little did I know, the neighbor's got a fucking drum set.
Oh fuck, that's great. That is so good.
There's some about, I mean, goddamn, it was nice living out of town on 40 acres with no neighbors.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm in a goddamn duplex in town.
How is it like night?
What do you mean?
Like with like cars driving by and stuff like that.
You don't. It's a tight neighborhood. Like
Okay.
it's a cul-de-sac neighborhood. Like
It's not like a through
no,
road.
you can't hear any cars or nothing.
That's the worst thing I always think is when I have to fucking go to like a hotel or something like that. We go to a contest.
Yeah.
Dude, I barely sleep.
You'll hear like sirens going off and shit. Like
Whole
I remember that
time.
actually in Amarillo one night. Like, it was like 1 a.m. or something. I woke up and I heard like cars drag racing. Like,
There was a lot of drag racing in Amarillo.
yeah, just cruising up and down that road.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was weird.
that is true. I kind of forgot about that. It bothers the shit out of me. I can barely sleep every time.
Yeah. There's actually one thing. So there's a fireplace in the living room, and it's more of like a decorative type. You know, it's not like a stove like you have in your house, where
It's
you
like
can be.
the one we have in our living room. It's like a
Yeah.
brick
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. And
Deal.
if you got the TV off or whatever, and you're sitting there, you can kind of hear like cars or noises coming through it, but it's not loud.
Does
You
it
know.
not have a damper to shut it?
Mm-mm.
Have you looked
Well,
up
maybe, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen
dude.
one.
You might want to look up it.
Yeah. See if it's open.
Yeah, if it's open, you're just getting the heat in your whole entire house getting sucked out of that thing.
And Ashley, she's a tight ass with the heater too. It's
That's why she's paying for that heat to fly
Yeah.
up that chimney.
I bitch about it every damn day. It's so cold. Well, I mean, it's been winter and it's cold.
Yeah, it's because of that stove. We had a winter that was freezing, and then one day I was like,
Do you have a
Shut
like?
Did I ever shut that fucker? And I looked
Oh.
up there and it was open. And so it's
So
like, dude, you
how
got a
high up
freaking.
would it be though?
No, it's usually a handle right there, like up in there.
Huh. Yeah,
And
I
it's just
haven't
like a
looked like
gate
up
that
in
just
it.
like on a hinge. She goes,
Yeah, I haven't looked up in it, but I haven't seen no handle outside or nothing to brick.
no, it wouldn't be outside. Usually they're up in there a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, take a flashlight, look up in there. And even if not, you can just get like some insulation or something and cram it up in there.
Yeah.
Because if you can hear noise coming down that thing, there's heat going up it. That's for sure.
Well, and she has baseboard heaters in here too. So each room has its own dial on it. And the
Oh, that's
one that's in
kinda
the
nice.
living room, she has a pencil mark. So there's the pencil mark. So there's a mark that's it says 50, and then it says comfort zone, and then it says 80. Well, here's 50. The pencil mark is at 45 or 40. She's like, don't go above the pencil mark. I'm like, it's at the pencil mark and it's cold as shit in here.
Don't go above the pencil.
I was literally like the first 2 days I was here, I was like sitting on the couch with my jacket on, trying to work on the computer, like freezing my ass off. And I didn't have any wood here. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I got up to change it and I moved it up to like 50. And she's like, you better turn that down. Like, I'm freezing in here.
She's like not even home. You move it. She calls.
Yeah,
You
she's like,
touch that
I know
button.
you moved it.
You touch that thermostat.
Yeah,
I'll
don't
fuck
you
up.
dare. Oh,
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
yeah, I made sure I brought a bunch of wood down actually from my house and been doing some fires at night because she won't let me touch it, which I don't blame her. It actually, she ran it like when it was really cold a couple months ago, and it was like fucking $250, and she didn't move it up past 50 for the electricity. It's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
I bet a lot of it has to do with that fireplace. It's just like
Probably.
an open window.
Yeah,
That's about the size of them, you know.
I mean it draws pretty good though. Like, I don't ever feel
bet.
air coming down through it.
No, it's going up it.
Yeah.
Because
But
your
if
house
there's
is always hotter than outside.
if there's no heaters on, it's not like there's much heat going out anyways.
If she's paying for the house to just be slightly warmer than outside.
And yeah, just to get out of the wind basically. Oh, it was brutal the first couple days. And I told her, I was like,
Amazing.
I'm here now, so I can help you pay for half of it. And I'm fine with paying for half of it.
I'll pay. We can move the pencil mark.
Yeah, just to 50. You know, it's like, God damn.
I'll pick up 2 more horses and we can move that bitch to 55.
God dang.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Chelsea's a stickler just anyways about it. Like she's the stickler about all, like you would swear that she went through the Great Depression or something.
Penny pinching.
Yo, we'll have wood in there, and I'm like, why don't you just keep the fire going? I didn't want to burn through all our wood. It's like
It grows. We can go
keep it
cut more.
rolling. Oh, it's good though. If not, you get horseshoers are, like, as a whole. Craig always mentions it when we're at places of like we spend when we're rich and then we whine when we're poor. You know,
Yeah.
like we just like go through it. Like when the good times are good, we're having a good time.
Oh yeah, when it's bad, it's bad.
Oh man, like feast or famine.
It kind of makes me wonder, you know, just like the way the world's going right now, like, is it gonna get bad, or is it gonna be okay like it is right now? Like, it's definitely something that makes you
Dude,
wonder.
I can't see it. No, it's gonna get bad. It has to.
I mean, I hope not.
History
but
repeats itself.
probably.
We're a bunch of dumb motherfuckers.
And the sad thing is they want to erase the history.
Yeah, I don't like.
You know,
Man,
like
I
take
guess
down
like
the.
when we went to school, like we learned a lot about history,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just gonna happen again.
I
World
mean-
War III is gonna happen.
Isn't it something that they say, like, if you don't learn from history, you're just gonna make the same mistakes
You
again?
just repeat it.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why we have the history, is to learn from it.
Yeah, but then we just like, greed is a great thing. It's like not a great. Like, I'm not saying like that was sarcastic, that it's not a great thing. That's usually what kind of stems most of this shit is a
Money.
bunch of yeah, a bunch of people trying to make money, so they just like throw their character away. I was listening to a deal the other day. You know who Brian Callen is?
No.
He's a comedian. He's on Rogan a bunch and stuff, and he has like his own podcast. He's a fucking hilarious guy. But he had this saying that character, like the definition of character, and I didn't look this up but it was just good enough, so I just went with it. The definition of character is what you will say and do when it'll cost you something.
Hmm.
And that is, I think, like pretty big on like all the walks of earth. You know what I mean? Of like that our politicians, they're willing to not have good character or not stay up to their character or their name and just sell themselves. And you know, like, or even a lot of people in like that are famous, you know, like it happens a lot in the hunting world. Like famous people will hunt, but they won't post about it because they're afraid it's going to cost them money.
Yeah.
Even if it's something they believe in.
Yep.
So they're like, you end up like, we are all as a, like, not we, but it's like the population is pretty okay with that.
With not posting?
We're okay with someone being like, yeah, I just don't do that because I don't talk about it because it costs me money. Or I don't do, like, you know, a lot of people, like, they don't want to talk about God. Or they don't want to go talk about, like, they don't believe in God because they're afraid of their clients are going to, like, fire them. You see a lot of, like, horseshoers do that. Of like, well, I don't believe in those shoes, but, you know, I'll just nail them on. Well, it's like, because you wanted to make the money. And, like, you were afraid it was going to cost you something. But, like, you could have held up to your character and what you believe in and say no. So, like, I thought that was an interesting saying and something that, like, I don't know. I try to do that a lot anyways. But it does cost,
Yeah, I've
cost
always
you
thought
money
of, like,
sometimes.
I've always thought of character as doing the right thing when somebody's not looking, you know?
That's a good one, too. That's a good one, too.
But it definitely is turning into for the cost of money nowadays or something like that where, yeah, they let the internet define what they do. But it's a sad reality that we live in these days where the internet pretty much rules everybody's lives, you know, and like if you post something, somebody may not like it, so you may get ridiculed for it, and then, you know, it'll hurt your feelings or whatever, and then you may not ever do it again or something, you know?
Yeah, you know, it seems like a lot of times too is like the social media, like where you're saying like this, let social media define them a little bit, but it's like, I think that's what happens is that we watch social media so much that this is what we think, how we think life is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That they are, you know, like you see these famous people and you're like, well, fuck, that's it. Like that's the definition of a birthday party right there. Like that you have to have fucking ponies and unicorns running around and drop $4,000. Like how many people do you see when they go to get married drop so much money just because they're trying to like get that picture for Instagram?
Yeah, everybody, you know,
Dude,
a lot of people.
A lot of people. And I think like, man, how many, I think about that all the time. Like how many young horseshoers and stuff are jumping into debt just so they have that image.
Shiny rig.
Man, and it's like, I hate to break it to them, but a lot of times a lot of people can see through it. So it's like, you're just costing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can see like you don't have that many clients. And not like, we can kind of add up numbers to say like, that doesn't really work out. And it's okay. You don't have to act like.
I really like the saying Craig uses. All that stuff and all that weight in there is basically the lack of your skill or something. You know.
The lack of skill weighs your truck down.
Yeah.
I think that is true, and I think people get in a bind with that. That you'll see these guys that they let that happen to them. They get this clientele. They're kind of expecting a bunch out of them. They've kind of worked themselves in a predicament where they are the expert and no one's better than them. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they're hitting this point of like stallmate type deal or realizing that their skills really need some help. Well, how the hell do you go and ask for help now?
Yeah, because you're the expert.
You're the fucking expert. How are you going to go get help?
Yeah.
You know, and
it's going to be hard to.
You want your clients to have confidence in you like you are the expert.
Yeah.
Because I am not good at that at all. I am so doubtful in myself. Like you've been with me in competition. Like man, I am high and low. Like I'm like, this is shit, and this is the worst job in the world. Like, like me, like this should not even go on a horse. But I'm going to. It's just like
You can't start over
no,
in
but
a
it's like
competition
that.
setting.
Yeah, but like even clientele's, it's like I go over my horse that I shoe sometimes, and I'm like bad about like Riley. You need to shut your mouth. Your client doesn't need to know. Like all
It's
these
not
little.
detrimental, but it's just the
Oh yeah,
fine
you're telling us like
details.
me and is like yeah. Well, it takes me a while to get flat.
Yeah.
Well, like you tell your client that if like, well, it takes me a while to get flat.
And
Well,
they're like
if
thinking
you're at a
like,
yeah, oh yeah, they were just listening to this guy yesterday, trimming their friend Susie's horse, saying how he could trim flatter than glass.
and you know damn well it's not, but
No, yeah, you're like that guy's just blowing smoke up your ass. But it's like when you say that to him,
I'm not a good salesman. You know what I'm saying?
not
Like,
good at all.
I'm
I
not
wish
good
I
at
was a little
that.
better at it.
Yeah, yes and no. You can always
Why?
see through the bullshit though when somebody is a salesman,
Yeah, but
for
some
me,
guys are
anyways,
good at it while not lying.
and they just think that they're right.
Not think that they're right, but they just have like such a good demeanor to them about it that it's like they'll never say that the other people are wrong or that they're right. They just like kind of talks like they lawyer the client almost. They just
Yeah.
like talk around them in a circle and nothing ever really got even answered, but they feel good about it for somehow.
Yeah.
Or
I kind
I'm
of
not that good of a talker.
I witnessed that today actually. I was at this barn and there's another guy there and he was there the whole time I was there and yeah, kind of basically what you just said.
Yeah, they just kind of like talk and like for some reason the client's like, "Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great." And you're like, "Nothing even happened."
It was gnarly. Like it was a new horse, and I was so thankful they didn't bring it to me to shoe, because like he went over lip chained it, and went to go take it into a stall, and then like him and I were just bullshitting, chatting, and he was just kind of just standing just like right above its hip or right in front of its hip, facing me, and that sucker tried to swipe and kick him. And he wasn't even trying to do nothing. He didn't even have his hand on its back or nothing. And the
stayed in
sucker
there.
just tried to swipe, and I was like, dude, I don't know why
No
you're doing
good.
that horse.
No good.
Yeah. But he still just kind of, same thing as you just said. Like, he was just talking it up, like, oh, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. And still just did it. It's like, dude, no way.
He's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like one day, even if that horse doesn't full on get him, that horse is beating his body up.
Yeah.
Horses just, man, those are the horses that like I feel even worse after, or like the horses that are just like continually yanking and janking on you the whole entire time and being nasty and tense. You're just like,
When's it going to happen?
yeah, that is the worst.
Is today the day I'm going to break my leg?
I a couple months ago, I finally got rid of the horses. Like every time I did the horse, we had to do the horse on gel, and it was one of the worst ones because it's like a horse that leans, I can eventually get him to not lean on me as much.
Yeah.
But he was just one of those horses that just wanted to get you. So
Yeah.
he'd float and be cool, and then just give you the yank out of nowhere.
Mother, that pisses me off, too.
Oh,
So bad.
and it was because like he'd wait till the owner was on her cell phone, and you're like, "All right, go, you can't be on your damn phone anymore." And then, "Oh, okay, yeah." You turn around and get yanked. Of course, their phones out.
And they don't see it, and they're like wondering, like, oh, what's wrong?
Oh, that's like to new farriers out there listening. If you pick up a new client and they are bad mouthing the old horseshoers,
Not being able to get around him.
about, oh, my horse doesn't like him, made him
Yeah.
bad, he did this to him, or oh, the shoes just kept, like, he couldn't shoe him and the shoes kept on coming. I was like, word to the wise, count your days. They're going to do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
This is what they do. This is their cycle. Like, it is, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't have to take them on. Just don't fall for it. And don't fall like you'll see a lot of too is like, man, if they're talking trash about horseshoers, so clients like to talk about horseshoers are the worst gossipers. Well, horseshoers get their gossip from clients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you know it just as much as I know it. You like sit there like there's like a little bit of a silence there, and they're like, "Well, do you hear about Susie and her horse?" Like they instantly want to tell you something. They
Yeah.
just want to talk, and they're like, "Well, this is what I know. It's kind of interesting, and like something that's connected." So they just like start blabbing.
Yeah.
You're like,
You really don't care.
no, you almost want to look like, I don't want to hear about Susie.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it at all.
No.
Oh,
I was
it's the
actually
worst.
thinking about a friend of mine actually, you know him as well. He was working on a sedated horse earlier this week, and it snapped while he was clinching a hind foot, and it woke up and kicked him and broke his leg just right below the
I
kneecap.
saw that.
Yeah.
Cody.
Yeah, and it really made me think, like, is it worth doing the horse that we have to sedate? It's really not, because now he's going to be out of it for 6 to 8 weeks, he said. And
I think it depends on the horse, but how do you like? You got to learn that lesson sooner or later, right? If it's the right horse.
yeah, but it's also like it could happen to any horse, really. Like, if we're sedating it for a reason, like, who's to say it could wake up and just do the same thing? Like,
I
even
think
if you
that's
trust it.
the trick. Is he being sedated because he's high strung and just gonna be way, way, way watchy, or is he gonna be sedated because he's mean? And we're trying to get him to not be mean.
Is it worth shoeing that mean horse, though?
I don't think the mean one's worth it. I don't think the mean one's worth it at all. I think the anxious one
Is
one that's
okay.
just like, yeah, I think he's all right.
Dang.
Man, I had a horse in high school that I'd go and ride with this old guy, and we'd work on horse trailers and stuff. Because I got kicked out of high school, so we'd work on horse trailers most of the day, and then I'd ride horses, and we'd rope that night.
Uh-huh.
And I had a horse that I roped on of his every single day pretty much, and we gave that horse 2 cc's of ace under his tongue.
To work on?
To ride.
Oh, to ride. Damn.
To ride him. Like, that might sound horrible to some people, but it's like, he was a great horse on 2 cc's of ace.
I've actually heard of a lot of people doing that, to be honest.
Oh man, yeah, especially in the rodeo world, bro. Like
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
roping world.
That's what I was exactly just thinking
I
about.
bet there's a
Like,
lot of race horses too that get their first few times, or even like, I don't know. You try to think that those like English people are all like high and tight, and like, but they aren't.
yeah.
I bet they're doing some shady stuff as well. But
Probably.
that horse was good on a little bit of ace. It just took the edge off of him.
Yeah.
He was staying in the box. He could still run, plenty hard. Like, it might not be 2 cc's, but we gave Mason the tongue. But I think a horse like him, if you're having to just sedate him, that type of horse, to shoe him, just so he doesn't leave,
Yeah. It helps.
I think that's okay. But if you got a horse that you're trying to make not bite, kick, or stand up and paw, so it's like he might just need to go away.
Well,
he needs to go somewhere else.
Well, you talk about like high dollar people or whatever doing shady stuff. Have you heard of that story that happened in the 80s about this guy? His name was the Sandman, and it happened in Florida. And what he would do, they would hire him. He was basically like a groomer or something at that point, and they would hire him. He would come in. He would electrocute the horses in the anus, and then they would claim insurance fraud on him. And he would do that and they would get, lots of money for him. There's
So you
actually
just kill it?
yeah, multiple, like, there's actually an episode on Netflix called Bad Sport, and it tells a story. And the crazy thing about this was,
So
like,
wait a minute. It's like these are like race horses or something?
I can't remember if they're racehorses or I think they're jumpers.
So he was
Jumping
like a
horses.
hitman.
Yeah, that was he was a hitman, but they
Okay.
called him the Sandman. And they would pay him to come in there, electrocute him, because, like, it was unidentifiable at the time. Like, they couldn't tell if it was, like, a colic or what. Like, when they would do an autopsy or something, like, they couldn't tell because they would electrocute him right through the anus.
butt.
Yeah. And, like, then they would claim insurance fraud on him and get millions of bucks for him.
I never knew about this at all.
Dude, the thing that tripped me out was,
I've
like,
never heard this story.
2 weeks before I watched this episode on Netflix, a client of mine, she was telling me this story when she was like, yeah, when I was in Florida in the 80s, like, there was this guy that would go around and electrocute horses in the anus. And, like, at the time I was just shoeing her horse, and kind of like listening, but like not really listening. And then like she
Yeah.
would tell me like the anus part or whatever. Like, what? He would electrocute him and kill him? And she's like, yeah. And then like, so I was just kind of like
you
listening.
restart. Start at the beginning.
But it was kind of like in one ear, out the other, you know, like I was just trying to get through the day, you know, and, you know, not really listening, but listening. And then I watched this episode on Netflix and I was like, holy shit, this is the story she was telling me about.
This is real.
Yeah. And I was like, kind of thinking, I was like, this is probably just a low deal, you know, tiny little story or whatever, like whoop-de-doo. But here it was like millions of dollars that this guy had strung up from fraud. And I was like, holy shit, this is a real story.
Dude, he probably made a bunch of money.
Yeah, he's out of jail and shit now. And he was on the documentary. Yeah, it's called Bad Sport.
If he would have done it today, he would have not ever went to jail, probably.
You don't think so?
No, they don't arrest people anymore.
Yeah, true.
You don't get it. You
can get away with anything.
Yeah, you can get away with a dude.
Yeah, unless it's a racist crime or something.
I saw one the other day that was like, the guy straight killed like a couple people, and he was gonna get out in 17 years.
What?
I was like, wow, you can just kill people now
And not have life.
not have life. Like, man, that was just like, oh, you're getting life. We're like, at best, you were getting life.
That's the problem. There's no consequences for actions anymore, right? So people can get away with anything. You know, that's why there's so much dumb shit going on.
Oh, that's why Oregon's insane.
Yeah.
Man, every drug's legal.
Yep.
Every drug. So
Which
these
is
guys
nuts.
are just like, and not like high amounts, but what do they call them? Using amounts.
Yeah.
I don't know what level they put that at, like how much that is, but they have a using amount of drugs like meth, fentanyl, coke, crack, whatever they got. They're fine. They don't even get any trouble. And it's like they have this other weird law that if they're stealing something or like that to feed themselves,
What?
they were gonna sell it for food, then
it's illegal.
Then it's all right. You don't get in trouble.
Huh.
It's only if you were doing it just for like to do it, I guess.
That-
So obviously no one says that's why they're doing it.
Yeah. No, I'm doing it because I'm hungry.
Dude, they just don't even go after them. Like the stolen cars are just stacked up in the streets of Portland.
That's what my mom, she was talking to somebody in Portland the other day, and she's like, yeah, my car's been stolen 5 times. I was like, what? Like, how does that happen? How do you get it back?
Dude, because they just take them to the same spots. They just like strip them down, or they joyride them for a while, or they live in them for a little bit. Like I saw, there's this page on Instagram called WTF Portland, and it's just posting like real life Portland.
Yeah,
stuff
there's
all the
one
time.
that's Seattle looks like shit, and it's the
Yep.
same shit.
Same exact type of page.
Yeah.
And this person stole this person's car, and then left it back in front of their place like a couple weeks later.
Oh, so they're just cruising it, and then they brought it back.
Yeah, lived in it for a little bit, and then brought a note and said, "Hey, sorry I stole your car, but if you turn this into insurance and tell them that I smoked a bunch of fentanyl in it, they will total it." And I did smoke a bunch of fentanyl in it. Like,
Jesus.
they just like, oh, here, you know, like they don't even see it as being rude to you. They're just like, oh, well, you know, this is just how you live life.
Part of the world these days. Like,
Oh,
screw you and what you have to do. Now you're not going to be able to go to work because your car got stolen, but I'm going to live in it and I'm going to smoke meth.
yeah. Yeah. Well, like you don't see any cars there anymore with vinyl tops.
Oh, because they just get trashed.
Oh,
yeah.
they just cut them open.
Yeah.
Just
So
slice
easy
them,
to steal.
slice them right open and go right through that thing. It's just
Well, it's also a
savage.
trip too. Like we here in, I guess, Seattle or whatever. Like if you have an RV, you can be parked there for as long as you want. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, say you have like a truck like mine or whatever, and I were to park on the street and there's like a 2-hour parking limit, I'd be getting all the parking tickets on it. You know.
Yeah, man. I'm a
Don't
little
make
bit
no
of
sense.
like I stick it to the man. I will not pay. I will not pay camping pay like when you go somewhere to in like a national forest, stuff like that. Some places you're supposed to pay like a camping permit.
Yeah.
I will not pay one of those.
Really?
If they're letting people sleep out in the BLM, like the Bureau of Land Management and the National Forest and everything else that homeless and live out there
For
and
free.
dump their trash out there and do all that shit, and I pay taxes, so that's my camping permit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna clean my spot up, and I'm gonna leave. So it's like,
It's true.
until you guys, and it's like, man, I'm more weirded out sleeping out in the woods when I'm hunting, like just off the road. If I'm way out in the woods in a tent, like way out there, I'm not worried at all. But like sometimes we'll drive up these logging roads, and we'll just pop a tent right off the side of the road, or sleep under the truck.
Yeah.
Or like if we got a rooftop tent, sleep in one of those. It's like I'm more weirded out and sleep with a gun those nights, just because like, dude, that's just what
access.
they do. That's just what they do around here. Is they drive around the logging roads.
If you're awake at night, yeah.
It is so weird. You'll come around the corner and you're like 30, 40 minutes in on a logging road and pop around to a Geo Metro.
Chilling.
And the guy's got everything stripped out of the thing. He's cleaning it.
Damn.
You're just like, whoa.
What's going on?
It is, dude, my brother-in-law's parents live just off of I-5 in Southern Oregon. But it is a very, very rural area. It is like I shot a bear and I could hear I-5 from there, because it's just like right off I-5. It's the woods.
Yeah.
And they live off on this road. They're the last house on this gravel road. Well, just past them, these random people just put up like 6 trailers and RVs on the gravel road.
And just live there.
Just live there.
No consequences.
Dude. Like the sheriffs and stuff show up and try to get them to leave, and they just, what are you going to do?
Yeah, my friend had that problem this last summer. Some tweaker pulled up in an RV right outside his driveway and basically was cooking in there and shit. And like the sheriff would come and he wouldn't leave, and he just stayed there. And like it's sketchy because like he has his kids living there and shit, running around, playing, being kids. And here's this freaking Tweakerville just right on the side of your driveway. Like, what the fuck?
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd burn it down.
He was tempted. He was close to it, man.
Dude, that's my brother-in-law's dad. He'll drive by there shooting the gun off at like 3 a.m. Just like cruising by there.
Well, you remember that story that happened just a couple months ago where somebody shot those elk right off I-5?
Dude, that's where
nobody saw him.
It's right there. So it's right there. That's the exit.
I figured,
and I asked my brother-in-law about that. I was like, hey, do you know this guy? Because he got caught.
Oh, he did get caught?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, he's been doing that for a long time.
Oh,
and the
really?
guy is like the local gunsmith.
No shit.
And he builds long-range guns.
Oh, I didn't know that he got caught.
Well, they kind of caught him. He's like, they must have been they've known about him for a long time, and then they finally must have had like a good chunk on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just started admitting to some other stuff and like made a deal with them.
Oh shit.
And but it was like he was shooting those things from really far away.
Oh, that's why he wasn't getting
from
spotted.
I-5. He wasn't like shooting them from I-5. He was shooting them from like 2,000 yards away.
Oh goddamn. Well, that makes sense why nobody would see him.
Yeah, but dude, it's like one of those things. Like, so in Oregon, we have this fucked up rule of like any wildlife violation, you lose your hunting privileges for 3 years.
Okay.
Just bam. And it's like it's such a wide variety of it. It's like, so you could have a kid get like a little violation. Well, he's gonna lose his hunting license for 3 years. You have that guy that had 21 counts against him. And he lost his hunting violations for 3 years.
What? So not each count, so just 3 years.
3 years. That guy should lose his hunting license for life.
Yeah, for at least 60-some years.
He is a 69-year-old man.
And he'll be able to hunt by 72.
For a long time. He does not need to be doing hunting ever again. He was consciously. This wasn't a mistake.
No.
This is who he is.
Yeah. It's like he has an addiction at that point.
Oh, that's a weird addiction.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to just be into. Like, you are borderline
almost killing people. Yeah.
You're taking a life. You're taking a life. It's a life. And you're not eating it. He was shooting elk and leaving them. So that's he's just straight up.
So he wasn't trying to collect the horns or nothing.
Nothing, just shooting.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And it was a weird thing.
So I bet it was almost like a game to him to see how long he get away. Like to be able to do it that close to such a big, versus like if you did it out in the woods, whoop-de-doo, right? Like nobody would ever know about it. But if you're doing it to that close to a public area.
If you're poaching game to feed, you got a big family and you're broke as hell, and you're eating all this game. Yeah, do you, bro? Like, I don't have a problem with those people too much. Like, as long as you're smart. But it's like, if you're just trying to shoot things to watch them die and just to see if you can do it.
It's almost Jeffrey Dahmer-ish.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. That's weird, man.
Yeah, it's almost Jeffrey Dahmer-ish. Did you watch that series about it?
Yeah, it was out there.
Fuck, it was nuts.
Dude, super out there.
God damn. There's some weird people in this world, man.
And you wonder, like, if you were ever, like, parked next to him or something at a stoplight.
And never know?
Never know.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about that weird shit. I always want to ask somebody that, like, on an airplane, you're sitting next to him. Well, I barely want to talk to him anyways. Yeah. But I just want to know, is like, what's one fucked up secret you don't want anybody else to know? Don't even tell me your name.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know who you are.
Yeah, so just tell me your secret.
Just tell me your fucked up secret. You don't want anybody else to know that you know.
Only thing is, you only hope that it's not that bad, because, like, what if he told you he killed really someone? Bad? Yeah, because then you're like, well, fuck, now I got to tell somebody.
You got to kill him.
Oh, shit. Or no, he's going to get you. Because he just told you.
Duty, you instantly have to kill him.
Yeah, right.
When me and Chelsea were like 17, we were riding. There's this bike path along the river. We used to go ride our bikes to there all the time, and then just cruise up and down riding our bikes. And there's always like, it's in Eugene, so there's always like these weird ass old hippies and like homeless people hanging out in the river. Mm-hmm. It's summertime, and this guy like stops us to talk to us, and he starts telling us his crazy ass story, and then like we're barely listening to him, just trying to like maybe get away from him, and he's like, and that's why I had to kill him, that's why I had to cut his throat. And
we're just shit.
Like, okay, what? We got Chelsea's like, well, wait, what if he was being serious? Like, we don't fucking like, we just gotta leave.
I don't want to know.
Like, I really don't want to know. He wasn't. We're gonna assume he was just out of his mind here.
God dang.
Oh, the worst. I was on an airplane. I forget where we were going, but I don't think it was for a shooting competition or anything. But Chelsea was with me, and we were. You can kind of see the seat in front of you. So I was a window seat. And the guy, you can see the row in front of you. You can see the middle seat person's phone really well.
Yeah.
And this guy was just like looking through his pictures, because you don't have any service or anything. You see people looking through their pictures all the time. Well, I started noticing a lot of his pictures. And like, nothing against gay people or anything, but it's like a lot of this guy's pictures were of like him and gay guys having sex.
Oh, fuck.
And he's like, dude, like he would just like barely, and like they're like videos and stuff, and he's like barely taking a break when the flight attendants come by.
Really?
And like, dude, I got a clear, like, I'm like, wow, is this dude really just fucking scrolling through this?
That's messed up.
Well, then he starts getting to like pictures of like, I can see him, like what he looks like, and there's pictures of like him and a wife and kids.
No.
That he's looking through, and then these other pictures, and I'm just like. And then he starts like watching more and more videos. I just like tapped him on the shoulder.
Like, dude, like, see what you're
I'm like,
looking
bro,
at.
you gotta look at something else. You gotta put this shit away. Dude, he was so embarrassed, dude.
I bet.
He like rips his phone down.
But he also is looking at it on a goddamn airplane.
On a plane, dude.
When there's two fucking people sitting next to you. Like, what the hell? It's like, almost like you're okay with it.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen on a flight.
That is nasty.
Was that right? He got off that dude. He weaved through everybody. He did not wait for anybody. He just instantly, as soon as the door opened, fucking getting out of there.
Yeah, peace. Like, I do not want to see this guy again. Like,
I like dad tapped him, dude. Like, I gave him the old stern shoulder tap. Like, hey.
Stop.
Put that shit away.
This is fucking with my head right now. I do not need to see this shit.
It's like, at first it's like, whatever, man, whatever you're into. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. We're like in a public place. You're just like watching yourself.
I mean, that's the same as like watching porn in public. I'd say.
If it was a dude watching girl porn, I would do the same thing.
It's
Like,
still
bro,
fucked. Like,
time
it's
and
not
place. Time and place,
cool.
man.
No, it's not
Now's
cool.
not the time. Now's not the
I seen
time.
something actually kind of fucked up on the news this morning. So last year I was at the motocross track, and I came across this guy, like a photographer. You know, he was out there taking pictures and stuff, and he seemed like an all right guy, you know. And it was kind of weird, like he was kind of taking pictures of kids or whatever and stuff like that. Well, come to find out on the news this morning, he got arrested because he was running a pedophile ring. Like it said, motocross. They called him a motocross coach, but really it was just a photographer. And it said motocross coach arrested for pedophilia, taking thousands of pictures of kids on his camera, and it was a lot of them at the racetrack. And it was weird because I seen it. I was like, whoa, that's the dude I was fucking talking to at the track last year. Yeah, I got his Instagram account and everything. Like, he told me, like, go here. And, yeah.
No
Super
good.
weird. Like,
No good.
It was just weird. Once I seen, like, his picture, I was like, no.
It's one of
That's
my
the dude
biggest worries.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Like, I have a little girl.
Yeah.
Just anybody having little kids, like...
It's a weird world, man.
I will make someone eat their own guts.
It's a weird
Like,
world.
it'll not be good.
No.
It'll
It's not okay.
No, it's a fucked up world that we live. It's a scary deal, and it's just like the people are everywhere. It's something I've always thought about. It is like, dude, we always show up at these random people's houses to shoe their horses.
I do think about that too. Like, what is this person really like?
Fucking weirdo, dude. You could get conked and thrown into a stall in no time.
Yeah, and be tied up, and
dude,
yeah.
In no time.
You could be one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. Something
dude,
like that.
Dude, you could literally be in a hole putting lotion on the skin.
Yeah, it puts the lotion on the skin. Like that run-in with old Buffalo Bob.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're trimming the first foot, and you feel something sharp in your ass, and you go nighty-night.
You're done.
Oh, you wake up all fucking covered in lotion.
I can't say I've ever really worried about that very much, but I'm more so worried about like being there by myself working on a horse, and the horse like cocks me in the head. And I'm laying there underneath it, but never really Buffalo Bob incident.
I worry about the people. I worry about the people so much.
I haven't really worried that much about it, to be honest, but yeah.
Oh man. Just like that's the type of situations I feel like I'd find myself in. It's something that is like way bad. Just not good at all.
I could see it more of like, yeah, like if you're in a remote area, kind of like where you are, where you're kind of going to people's house to house, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just these random ass old logger families.
Yeah.
Like some of the houses that I pull up to or drive by, I'm like, oh, this isn't.
This is giving me Jason Voorhees vibes.
Dude, like thankfully now like my price and stuff at least gets me to like they're a little nicer houses than they used to be. But it's like, dude, some of them you'd pull up to are pretty scabby. Pretty nasty.
It's kind of sad that we have to worry about that these days, you know?
Oh, dude. It's a creepy deal.
We shouldn't.
Creepy. And speaking of creepy guys, I'm gonna just throw a little.
Who are we gonna throw on? Who are you throwing on blast here?
We've had like this has just been a total BS session. It's been completely. I'm fine with. But all right, creepy dudes on the internet. You male horseshoeing guys that have wives and children. Like, we see you liking these young female Ferris pictures.
Yeah.
It says your name right there. It says so-and-so liked this selfie. It liked this bikini
I have
picture.
wondered about that. I'm like, that's a little weird.
It's like, bro, she's almost young enough to be your daughter. Like, oh, hey, how you doing? You need a new hammer?
I like this. I like
Want me to help you pull some clips? Like, oh, you're beautiful, sweetie. Like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy as hell.
I do wonder about that.
I don't want to speak for the young women, but I bet they find it kind of creepy as well.
I have wondered, yeah. Maybe we'll have to get one on and ask somebody or something.
It's just like, hey,
let us know.
What are you doing?
Drop a comment and let us know. You can be anonymous if you want.
And if you're like, man, is he talking about me? Well, you're already wondering it, so it's probably not good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can stay anonymous.
If if you're already thinking that you might be the guy, you're probably the guy I'm talking about. And I don't even want to say the guy because there's more of you than you would think.
I mean, I couldn't name them all, to be honest. Couldn't.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's a little PSA out there. If you guys didn't know how Facebook works,
Yeah.
we can all see. Everybody's viewing this.
It'd be about the same as if your wife went through your browser history, you know? Like, that's visible.
Like, remember when Instagram used to have that off to the side? You could see what everybody was liking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a trip, dude. That was.
Yeah, that kind of.
I remember when Chelsea told me that everybody could see that I watched their story.
That tripped me out for the first time, too.
Because I didn't really know what stories were about or even anything. And I was like, yeah, there's all these crazy. I'm like, I watch all these people's fucked up stories. Like, well, you know, they can see that you watched it, right? And I'm like, oh.
What?
I'm going to be a little more selective here.
Yeah. Well, I don't really watch very many stories, actually. Like, Ashley will actually be like, did you see so-and-so's story today? I'm like, no, I don't have the time.
I love stories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Watching them quick.
I like watching them. I post stories all the time.
Yeah. I
It's
used to
a little
be
bit more of like a vlog style. Like it doesn't have to be post worthy. You're like, oh,
No.
that's kind of interesting. What I'm doing.
well,
Story.
like, I think 2 years ago, I had Snapchat, and I felt like I was Snapchatting all the time. Like I felt like I was like
really get it.
glued to my phone. It's
kinda
literally
like stories.
it's literally the story, yeah. But you can send
Okay.
like the video to somebody or whatever, and it's a story essentially. Like you can post it to a story. But I felt like, to me, I was like, I'm on here all the time, just posting. Like I've always got my phone in my hand, like posting these videos, and I was like, I need to get off this. So that's kind of when I
This
took.
isn't good.
That's when I took the run, and I like got off Facebook and Instagram for like 9 months. It was right around that
Okay.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you took a while.
yeah, it was good, getting off of it, but.
Did you like? Because that's when you came back to the social media after that. That's kind of when you started doing like YouTube and stuff.
That's
like
why
that.
I got back on it. Yeah.
So you like during that break, you were able to like probably like, I don't know, like.
I was thinking about some things, and instead of like seeing just posts or whatever, like I was watching YouTube videos and I was starting to learn. And that's kind of like when I started to see like people were making money on YouTube.
Yep.
So I was like, well, fuck. Like, but I also seen too, like, you got to have a social media presence to help build that, right?
You do.
To an extent, some people don't necessarily, but it helps if you're trying to build it.
Helps quite a bit.
And yeah.
And it's something like social media is hard, I think.
It is.
It
Takes time too.
It's hard, and that's right. Yeah, it takes time. But I think for a lot of people screw up. You see a newer, younger generation is moving into like blacksmithing and horseshoeing and stuff right now too.
Mm-hmm.
And like you see a lot of these guys that are like novices and stuff, and are just like trying to instantly be like social media famous.
Yeah.
And talk about that, and I like, man, some of them like might be going about it a little wrong. Might be
Instead of asking
pressuring
for
it a little
advice.
too much. Yeah, and I don't even know if there's any advice anybody could give you. Like too
Well, I remember.
much.
So, like, what comes up on my memories from like 10 years ago or whatever, like, I would post pictures of my shoes or my feet, and I'd be like, what do you guys see? Or, trying to get
Yeah.
better. And I still,
Yeah.
like, if I do post something like that, like, I would appreciate it. Like, if somebody did tell me what they see, like, to fix it, make it better. But a lot of times you don't see that. Like, people want to post it out there and just be like, look what I did, how great I am.
Dude, what a fine line. It's so hard to make a post. And a lot of it is like the picture is the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking caption that's going to get you.
Yeah.
It's how you write the caption. That's what's going to fuck you up. It's like, so you either write it as I'm looking for help.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one extreme. Or the other extreme is I am the help. I'm the best.
Yeah.
So you want to ride the middle of that.
Yeah.
You want to ride the humble train of like, oh, this is what I did today. I think it's kind of okay. Like you're trying to play it off as like this was kind of okay, but there's still kind of some things that need. Like that's I I write and erase and rewrite captions like so many times before I make a post.
That's the part I hate. That's the part I hate is the captions.
Because you don't want to be a douche. You're like, I don't
Yeah.
want to come off as a complete douchebag about this. And so but you're trying to just like, I sometimes just like thought dump into it. Like my captions are longer now than they used to be.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So I'm not even going to try to lie. I used to just like almost trying to copy Craig's just witty caption.
Yeah.
Craig always has these really witty captions.
But you
on his
also will
pictures.
notice a lot of other people doing that too. Like, dude, put those
Ton
kind
of people.
captions.
And I don't think it's a horrible way. I think it's better than like. It's super common now in all different ways of like people that want to get famous quick try to do it by putting other people down.
Yeah.
And it's like if that's your goal, is if it, like man, it might get you some attention for a little bit and real quickly, but it's gonna turn on you and it's gonna go away really fastly. You want to like, I don't know, if you're trying to build. And I always feel super weird about talking about trying to build your social media, but I do have like a decent social media, but I didn't try to build it.
I
just
think
tried being
you're honest.
normal. Yeah,
You're honest about yourself. That's the thing I've noticed. Like with your posts, is like you are involving your life in them, right? Like you're kind of speaking your thoughts, like you said, like thought
Yeah.
dumping, and
Yeah.
that strikes home with people, right? Like just being honest and talking about what you thought and what you see.
That's what I think people want. Really, they just want to be a part of someone's life.
I find that
Like-
hard because I also am like, I don't want people to know that much about me too, or like how I
but
think of
you,
how
like
I
you,
feel.
you know that for sure. Like there's my life that's on Instagram, and then there's my life that me and you talk about,
Yeah.
and stuff. That like there's different things going on. There is still a hidden life, like and not even a hidden. It's just like man, it's like you said, it's like there's something not everybody needs to know all my laundry.
No.
Like not that I got dirty laundry, but it's just like yeah, it's just
What's your
not
dirty
everybody-
secret?
Yeah, what's your fucked up? What's your skeleton in the closet?
Tell me.
But it's like you gotta. That's all I think with like I think about like my tools or like my products that I make. Sometimes I don't think they're that amazing, but I think people want to support my life and my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's why they buy in, and that's why they push the follow button. Is that they're wanting to just
You're also
have
though
a part of your life.
you are testing the limits and pushing it to a new level as well, so where not many other people are doing that right now. So I think that's also another category at which you're in. That
No,
helps.
I was listening to a podcast today, and the guys were talking about that. The quality's kind of dropping on everything right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of a going trend in the world. Is just we're more okay with mundane. Okay, you look at our cars. Like the general car a person drives right now.
Yeah, it's just
is-
a tin can.
It's really not much. It's not much
No.
going on. I mean, then you look at a car
No.
from like this, like the 50s. Like it's got fins on it. It's got chrome trim. Like you can
Style.
see that engineer or that architect's style and his craftsmanship in it, and like that company's
Yeah.
craftsmanship. You look at old tools, like old drill presses were really, really ornate scrolls, big heavy things. Like they were really finely built, heavy built, and like some style went into it. Man, that is just like going away. And it's like you people talk about it in horseshoe all the time, like, yeah, but did you really need all that? And it's like, maybe not, but why fucking not?
Yeah.
Why
Take
not
pride.
go that extra mile? Like, it looks sweet, doesn't it? It looks really cool. Like, and that can be enough sometimes. It looks extra.
It's the
That's
same as
really
like
cool.
if you want to pimp out your car and buy some rims for it or something, be the same as like, yeah, I want to buy some pimped out tools, right?
That's all it is sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, and so I think that's why maybe I stick out a little bit, is that I'm always trying to make something like, I'm not trying to just make simple things or make production items. I'm trying to just make something nice as I can make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's a little bit of a missing thing. And that's maybe a little bit of advice in this long-winded thing of like, if you're trying to be on social media or be an influence, which I do think our trade needs. I do think our trade's fucking way behind on it. Man, like, we want to talk about how our trade's all the best. Like, man, like me and Gavin are both a part of this Troll Clothing deal. Like, you should see how much these like crane operators, electricians, plumbers. Like they
Just
got full
posting.
on social medias with a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
And like they're getting their trade out there. Like
Yeah.
people are getting to see a really cool side of it.
I'm
Where,
making it
like,
look sick.
horseshoers, man, there's like 10 of us. Maybe,
It's hard.
You know?
It's hard to do too.
It's super hard, but it's like, man, how many times do you talk to somebody that they're like, oh, that's a dying art, huh? That's a dying trade. You're like, not
All the
really. But none of us are saying anything.
Yeah.
We're all just sitting around, like not like. So I think it'd be cool if we do get some more people out there in the social media world, but try to be real.
Yeah.
Try to just try to be real and just do good work. That's what's gonna get you far. That's
Just
you
being
hear people
honest.
saying the same thing. Yeah, they're like, well, how do you get to be a clinician? How do you get to be a judge? How do you get to be? It's like a lot of times just people want to be around you and
Yeah.
just hear from you.
Yeah.
If you're just fake and kind of a dick, like, it's just not.
People are
going
to see through it, you know,
Yeah,
just like
really
you said.
quick.
Just like
There's
you
a
said.
lot of really, really handy horseshoers out there that don't get asked to be clinicians or judges because they aren't.
I think about that all the time, you
that
know,
nice.
like, and because they might not also want to either, too, right?
I doubt it.
You
I
think
bet
a
they
lot of
want
people
to. I bet they want to. Who
be a
doesn't?
judge or something?
I bet there's a few people that are like they don't love that, but they would like to be asked.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I bet they like to because it is. It's like a compliment.
Yeah.
If you have,
Boosts confidence.
if you have someone reach out and try to like ask you to be a judge or clinician somewhere, that's a huge, like, that's a little pat on the back that you've been acknowledged. Someone's seeing it, and someone else like they're willing to pay to get you there
Yeah.
and learn from you. Well, they aren't gonna do that. Like, no matter if you know a shit ton, but if you're really bad at talking to people, it's not gonna work out
Yeah.
that great.
That's true.
That's one thing I worry about it with like shoeing competitions a little bit, like especially like the team deal is I'm not the same teacher in a team environment that I am at a clinic that
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Well, you get a
In a
more,
clinic I'm doing,
what's the word? Like friendly, not necessarily friend, but intimate setting, I guess, between four people versus a crowd that you know nothing about.
a little
a
bit
degree.
there, but
To
a
a
little bit
degree.
there is like the crowd you know nothing about. You can't really like, bro, you just keep doing this. Like, or you can't just be like you can't your friend can't be honest with you. You know, like, hey, you're not telling me the right way right now. Like, you need to respit this at me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't understand what you're saying. You're like, you know, like with me, like if I see you doing something and I know you can build like a heel better than that, well, I'm gonna try to hold you up to that.
Yeah. Hopefully
Where if it's
hopefully I can do it better, but yeah.
But
sometimes
it's like if
hard.
you're at a clinic and you're like, well, it might be as good as that guy gets to do. I don't know. Like, it's just you don't really know the people as much. And,
Then
like,
again,
you
that's
still
why
need a
they're
little
there.
Bit of the niceness.
That's why they're there as well, you know, to try to improve, and hopefully you are there to help fix that issue.
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So hard to learn how to.
But it's also trying to be able to read how that person's going to be able to take it and learn from it, and not either be
Yep.
like offended by it or
No.
you know, or
Dude,
be able
I
to
think that
actually soak
happens.
it up.
I bet like this is even just clinics. Like, you first meet somebody, you might want to start cracking some jokes or something to kind of see what type of person they are. If
Yeah,
you plan
loosen
on
up.
teaching them something. Because if like you're gonna know from there, like I can tell him like, dude, what are you doing? You just suck so much. Like, you
Yeah.
can kind of crack that joke compared to somebody like, oh no, it's okay, it's gonna be all right. We're still
Uh-huh.
gonna fix this. It's gonna like, or like I learned quick when I was a snowboard instructor. Like, you teach little kids. Well, you hit a certain point of like, we're just gonna go build a snowman. We aren't gonna worry about. We aren't gonna worry about trying to fucking turn toe side anymore. Like, toe side gone, snowman time.
Yeah, you're not going to get this.
You know, we're like, man, it's like you get that with guys at a clinic, like, especially like tong clinics. It's not anything like horseshoers are always doing stuff, and there's a
It's
lot
hard.
of things to do. And your job as a clinician is kind of to get everybody to that finish line,
Yeah.
and
And
you
hopefully
gotta
have something
know-
usable at the end.
Yeah, just something that opens and closes. You
Yeah.
might hold something. And, well, some of those guys, you see him hit that wall where you're like, bro, let's just grab a beer.
Yeah.
Like, or, hey, let's just try to make this real quick. Or just talk to him about shoeing horses for a little while to get his mind back into it.
Yeah, not be flustered.
Super hard.
Dude, tongs are hard. Like, I think I've had you try to explain making tongs to me like, 6, 7, 8 times, and like I think I can get them made now,
Yeah.
but not great. But it's taken me that many times of like coming to you and be like, dude, help me, and it's fucking hard.
Well, I think the hardest part is like, hey, there's so much to one pair that when you get done with that one pair, you don't want to do another pair.
Yeah,
Which the best thing you could do is just build another pair.
yeah. The hardest part is like the reins, right? Like the physical part of that
Drawing those things out.
is what makes you not want to do another set. But when you
It
had
is.
those, what did you call them? The
The
button
lollipops.
lollipops. When you had those, like, fuck, it was easy. Just do another set. Boom, boom, boom.
That is what we did, huh? We
Yeah.
had a bunch. Dude, I still in my shoe pile there's like a layer of tongs
Yeah,
from when you and Paul were at my house, and we made
yeah.
many hot fit tongs. It was Sam Gooding was
Yep.
the WCB
Edgewood.
judge. You had to make a set of hot fit tongs. They provided the chain link.
Yep.
You had to bring your own rivet, and they were from 3/8, 3/4.
Yeah.
And then they had to fit the slider. Wasn't it a slider?
Slider or the rodeo hind, something like that.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah.
That's a hard class.
Well, and then you had a tong making clinic at your house a couple years ago too, and a
Yeah.
bunch of people came for it, not just me and Paul, and you had the lollipops there for that, and that was kind of where I started to get them
Yeah.
kind of figured out, but and then
I had the power hammer then.
Yeah, that was the first time I got to use it and try it.
Yeah.
Was that clinic? But and then we had to make a set of
Those
tongs.
clinics were fun.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was sweet because you let me stay in the house. I didn't have to stay in a tent.
Free kid.
Yeah, but now you got the wall tent, so it's basically like staying in the house, really.
It's pretty
But
nice.
yeah, we well actually at the last Foz deal we had to make a set of hot fit tongs with Troy Ermintrout, and even then I was still messaging you trying to figure them out. Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? But they're tough. But it's on like a horseshoe,
No, yeah. I've made a bunch of tongs, and it's every time I pretty much go to make a pair, I'm like, man, hopefully these turn out. Hopefully they go together.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think I would still be at this point, but I
Well, I
made
mean,
like it's
it can still be
embarrassing
the
to say.
same
I
as
was
building a horseshoe,
I made
right?
tongs with the best tong makers. Oh, it is exactly the same, man. Like there's
You're like,
just look
hopefully
at,
this
like,
nail doesn't go coarse or something.
I probably
right?
I would say that I haven't made more tongs than like Bodie's made roadsters. But you still hear Bodie trying to figure out he's like still fine tuning the roadster world. Like from my
Yeah.
look at it, like, man, he's got to figure it out. But in his head, he's like
Yeah.
still working on things. Well,
Yeah.
that's how it is for tongs with me. Is like I still got little things I'm trying to perfect on them and make them.
But
nice. But
usually, if you're going in the right direction, you're always trying to perfect and get better, no matter what it is.
yeah, oh yeah.
If you have that drive
Yeah,
in
and
yourself.
I'm pretty bad about that. That I chase new avenues all the time. I'll like go down the rabbit hole of tongs and go down the rabbit holes of shoes,
Hammers,
I just
hatchet,
bounce back and
axes.
forth all the time. Yeah.
Hey, something I noticed is
I mean,
your
pants.
battery's not dead.
Oh, that is a good point.
Yeah,
We're still
light's
in the
still on.
light.
Yeah. We've been going for a minute too. It's good.
Well, man, yeah, you're all moved now.
Yeah.
So what do
almost.
you think now? Do you guys starting to fall into a little bit of a routine?
Yeah, so actually, Ashley, she started a job at Boeing last month, and so she freaking has to get up for work at 4 a.m, and then she goes to bed. She's already in bed, probably almost close to sleeping by now. So by the time I get home at 5:30, 6 o'clock, we have dinner, and then she goes to bed in an hour, and then I watch TV or work on the computer for a little bit, and see each other for an hour, and just do it again.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet though. I bet you'll fall into
it'll
a
work.
routine with the shop too.
Yeah, that'll be kind of something that's pretty nice, really, is just having it there. And it's kind of been a weird month. Like, you know, I wanted to go to the Foz contest and practice for it, but with the midst of moving and, I mean, I was doing it truckload by truckload, you know. I didn't rent like a U-Haul and just do it all in one go. I mean, it would have been smart that way, but just the way that I was planning it and just doing it, I'd get off work and I'd run a load down or something like that. And, yeah. But as far as the shop goes, I was kind of trying to find somewhere close enough that made sense. Like, I had a buddy, he was going to let me keep it, but it was 30 minutes away. And that was kind of like my last resort. It was the first option I found. He's like, yeah, you can keep it in my barn. And I timed it, and it was 30 minutes, you know, from here to there. And I was like, fuck, that's going to be a long ways. And then I remembered there's a guy that lives here in town, Greg Burdett. So I hit him up. I was like, oh, shit, he's got a shop. It's like, hey, can I, you know, keep it out there? And he's like, no, actually, I know somebody that would let you do it. I hit him up, which is Doug, the guy that owns a shooting supply out here now. He's like, yeah, man, I got a place you can keep it, which freaking even closer than Greg's place. So,
yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, that'd be nice. The last thing I got to do, so I got the tent, the carport tent from Costco. I got it tore down, sitting there. So this is the best deal, really, about Costco.
Oh, are you going to return that motherfucker?
Fuck yeah, and then I'm going to get one that's going to be in a box, and then I'm going to be able to store it. So I still got the receipt.
You dick.
No, dude.
How many times have you returned that same carport?
This might be the fourth one. This is the fourth one, yeah. That's the beauty of Costco, man. They pride themselves in that shit.
They pride themselves. That's so funny.
I'm not the only one that does it. There's tons of people that do it. And like you'll come across people like with the carport tent and be like, "Is that your first one?" They're like, "Nope." Been through a couple. Cuz windstorms come on, snow comes on, you get a hole in it, they'll return it, man. It's sweet.
What are you gonna tell them? You just bring this thing piled in the back of your truck.
They don't even look. Like seriously, like you bring it in, it takes like 2 of the carts, like the wheel carts, to bring it in, and they're like, "Oh, you need to return it?" I'm like, yeah, it broke. The wind took it down or whatever. And that actually legitimately happened. Like the wind took it one time, snow piled it on 2 times and bent it and broke it. But this time, yeah.
You just don't want to pack it up.
No, I mean, what am I gonna keep it in the garage like all bundled? Like, might as well just get a nice tidy box and just let it sit there. And then, like, if I do need to open it,
like, I'll just return it for cash. Just give me my money back.
It's actually not a bad idea, but
dude, if you get your money back on that carport that you've used for this long,
the crazy thing is, so
I'm gonna go live in one. I'm gonna get one to fucking live.
The last time I did it, I think I bought it, was like, the first time I bought it was like probably 5-6 years ago, and it was like $239. And when I had to do the last one, which was like a year or 2 ago, it was like $280. So I'd make money. I'd make $50.
You would return it for the current value.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd be able to make a little money on it. But
oh, that's fucking great, dude.
I'm gonna keep it. They're handy.
Oh, they are.
They're handy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Not saying though, like when we get a place, it's gonna have a garage or a shop in it, so I don't have to use the fucking carport tent.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
But if I got a garage with all my shop shit in it, where I'm gonna keep the old Ford, so that's where the Costco
Outside.
carport. Well, covered be nice for it.
Yeah, fuck them.
Nah.
That's why mine looks the way it does. I haven't washed that thing since last summer. It's got so much mud and snow and shit just caked underneath it for hunting.
But yours is a hunting rig. Mine's all low and shit. Like,
oh, I'm sure I look like the Clampets, dude. I'm driving around with my fucking hound on.
They're probably thinking you're the meth head out there cruising.
Oh yeah, no, I don't get messed with too much.
No.
It's really good. Got
Nope.
stained blood on all my clothes.
Yeah, like, this guy's killing things. Leave him
That was
alone.
kind of funny. And like, I was at this little thing, it was this school deal with Catherine today, and they're playing this game, and they had these little Easter eggs, and they pulled this like bunny out. And
Oh,
Catherine
God.
goes, yummy. And the lady's like, well, no, we don't eat bunnies. I was like, we do in our house.
Yeah. Actually, rabbit's pretty good too.
Yeah, it's like that little girl's been on some game.
Yeah. And how old is
knows
she?
all about
3,
it.
4?
She'll be 4 in October. It's like 3.5.
Wow.
Crazy, huh?
That she knows at this age.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
She's helped gut multiple animals.
She's probably gutted more animals than I have.
I'd guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or been
there's
there.
I know there's like friends that I have that hunt that aren't ever successful.
Yeah.
That are like 30-year-old men. They're like they would classify themselves as a hunter, and I know my 3-year-old has had more bloody knives in her hands for sure. Like, this is definitely.
I don't classify myself as a hunter, so
Yeah.
I've tried
No, I
a
think
couple
that's
times, but
I don't think there'll be a time in her life that she'll know. Like it won't be like I remember by the time I first saw a dead deer. Like,
She won't
first
remember.
saw this dead. It was like,
another day.
yeah. She's been on our backs for like a few of them. So
Yeah.
it's-
Since a wee little tyke.
yeah. Well, shit, man.
Yep.
It's been a good little BS session.
Yeah.
We really didn't talk about horseshoeing that much, but a little bit, just about life.
There's a lot of podcasts that I listen to where they're just rambling on about shit too. You know?
I don't know if anybody's noticed yet. That's kind of what our podcast is just a rambling session.
We do got some cool guests coming up here the next week though.
We got some really cool guests coming up. Some ones that I'm pretty dang excited about.
Yeah.
Don't want to let too many cats out of the bag. You guys will have to stick around.
Yeah.
see who it is.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, thank you guys for sticking with us. Sorry that we were a day late, but we appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for joining in on the shoe trade deals.
Yeah. Yep.
Really appreciate it. It's awesome to see everybody like doing things. You know,
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's,
It's actually kind of cool that people are like, "When's the next one?" Like, I want to get in on.
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I think it, and really we're just kind of waiting for Gavin to get settled back down again, get his life more of in a routine, and we'll try to do another one coming up here after a bit.
Yeah.
We don't want to get everybody burnt out on them either.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
think.
I mean, it can be kind of a bit of work or whatever, but really, it's not
Yeah.
too bad. So,
No, we try to keep it fun though.
Yeah.
And if you guys think of a different project that you guys want to do, of like, man, we could almost do anything. Of like trade a Pritchell.
Yeah.
We could trade hoof picks. You know, I'm sure all of us use a hoof pick in our everyday. It'd be kind of cool to have a hoof pick from somebody else.
Yeah.
Think
If
of
you guys
something
do have the
creative.
idea, post it on the page or whatever. Let us know. Like, if you have the idea of something else.
Yep. And we got a
there.
couple guys that'll post their shoe jobs on there and stuff. And I think that's like the more of you guys posting them on there, the more people are going to get more comfortable answering each other.
Yeah.
And try to keep it real with each other. I'll block the fuck out of you if you're a dick. But
Yeah.
if you're just trying to help somebody out, man, that's awesome. Like,
Yep.
good deal.
Yeah. I haven't been available as much on Facebook and shit lately. So
No, it's good, man. You had stuff going on. It's the way it goes.
yeah, does
Such is life.
such is life.
Thanks,
All right, man.
everybody. We appreciate you.
Later.